this is Brian with Vermillion Enterprises. We are located at 5324 Spring Hill Drive in sunny Spring Hill, Florida. Today is March 21st? 21st, 2022. Right now, gold's sitting at right about 1,920 per ounce, and silver is right at $25 per ounce. So someone asked in one of our in the comment section in one of our previous videos, can you do a video on what ratio of silver, gold, platinum that we should be investing in? And I thought that's a pretty interesting question. I do get asked that a lot here in the shop on as customers come in and are looking for advice. And so I thought, well, let's talk about that and also bring in another question here in a bit that someone else asked in an earlier video too, and kind of tie it all into one nice little package. So to answer the question, what is the ratio that we should be buying? Okay. I don't know if such a ratio exists per se. I think a lot of it comes down to the individual's situation. Gold and platinum are obviously a lot more expensive than silver, and not everyone can afford it. But going down the road of life, I think everybody should have an equal amount of buying power when it comes to gold and silver. I think that if one goes up, the other will eventually go up in value too. So I think they're an equally wise thing to invest in. Right now, personally, I'm a believer in physical metals, gold, silver, platinum too. I'm a little hesitant on platinum. I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm a strong believer in having land in your portfolio if you can. I do not believe at all in owning any kind of paper stock right now. Nothing that's intangible. I'm not a believer in owning cryptocurrency at this point. Maybe I will get to that point, but right now I do not own any. I don't believe in it. And if I can't physically hold it, own it, have it, in my hand, I don't want it at this point in the game. So we see what's going on with the banks currently. We see that at the flip of a switch, we can see what happens to cryptocurrency and also with paper stock. So I'm a firm believer in owning physical things. Even things that aren't like traditional, like what you think is a real good investment, like precious metals. Things like a Rolex, things like a Mickey Mantle rookie card. These are great long-term investments. Look what Rolex has done over the last 2 years, and I don't think that trajectory is going to go down any. Diamonds get a little sketchier. That's definitely a controlled market. But you look at like a Michael Jordan rookie card, that trajectory only goes one way over time. And so those are good investments, but it's also something you physically hold in your hand. And that's what I'm a believer in. So get back to what ratio of silver, gold, and platinum should I have? Well, here's the thing let's talk about platinum for a second here. I like owning some platinum. I don't know if you want to get too heavy in it, because for what I understand, how the value of platinum is determined isn't so much about paper contracts like gold and silver, but it's more an industrial metal, the industrial market that uses it, which is, I think, at this point, pretty much the automobile industry. Really, the need that industry has for platinum is what dictates the price of it. And what do industrials do? What is their main focus in life, right? Is to minimize cost. So they will do everything they can to find a cheaper substitute for platinum, for example, or palladium. Palladium is even more driven by the automobile market. So eventually they will find something that they can use instead of platinum for whatever they need it for in generating their batteries or whatever they need it for in the automobile industry. And once that happens, the value of platinum will go down in value. We saw that in the computer industry, right? computers used to have tons of gold in their motherboards, which people actually could make money processing those motherboards and stripping it down. But since then, the computer companies have figured out how to use copper instead of gold in those motherboards. So now there's not really any gold left in the computers. So I mean, we've seen this happen, and industrialists, they want to figure out how to improve that bottom line, right? So they will figure out a way eventually to work around platinum and palladium. So I mean, I think it's good to own, but not go crazy with it. The good thing about the smaller and older platinum eagles, at least, is they will always be collectible. If they just didn't make a lot of them, so those will always be great investments, I think, in the long term. However, I wouldn't be stacking up platinum bars, for example. That's just me, though. So that leaves us with gold and silver. I think everyone should own as much as they can comfortably, with still maintaining paying their bills, their mortgages, all that. But also too, if let's say the water heater goes out tomorrow in your house, you need to make sure you have enough cash to cover that without selling out a part of your stack, because if you do, you're losing money at that rate, because if you buy silver today and you have to sell it tomorrow because your water heater went out, well, you're going to lose. So it's buy enough that you're comfortable, but not that where you're straining your bank accounts too. So just stack at a rate that makes sense for you based on your financial position. But the thing, rather than figuring out, okay, I should own this much silver to this much gold, or vice versa, I think you should be buying based on what makes sense at the time. Right now, silver is $25 an ounce, but premiums on silver eagles and silver generic rounds are kind of high right now. So silver eagles are spot price plus $10. So basically, you're paying $35 an ounce for a silver eagle. So what is that? A 40% over, 35% over? That doesn't make sense, right? So I mean, people still do it, and we have them in stock and we'll sell them, but that's not a great premium. Silver rounds, generic 1 ounce rounds like your Buffaloes and Aztecs, stuff like that. Right now we're selling at spot plus 450. Our cost is like plus 375. So what is that, 20% over? That's not that's not great. You can buy gold right now at a cheaper premium. So you can buy 1 ounce gold eagles at spot price plus 5% versus 20% for generic rounds, or closer to 40% for silver eagles. So I think that's what people need to watch, is not so much, hey, how much of this should I have versus this versus this. It's like, well, while I'm buying it, what makes sense as a better investment? What's my potential ROI when it comes time to sell it? So, if you're always in a position to buy, just play the premium market, right? So just follow what makes sense at that time. Right now, it makes more sense to be stacking gold than silver. That's my personal opinion. Even 100 ounce silver bars, which are typically your cheapest premium items in the silver world, we're selling at 275 over, so that's still over 10%. You can buy 1 ounce gold eagles for a cheaper percentage, and they cost pretty much the same, right? So you're going to spend $2,700 on a 100 ounce brick of silver, whereas you can get a silver or a 1 ounce gold eagle for a cheaper premium, and it's going to be around $2,000. So if you can afford a 100 ounce brick of silver, you can afford a 1 ounce gold eagle. Better investment at the time would be to buy the gold eagle. So, and then of course things like Krugerrands and Maple Leafs are even cheaper than eagles. We sell them at plus spot price plus $50. So what is that, 3% over? So that's even a better buy. Now we don't stock those, but we just sell them as they come across the counter. So I guess my overall answer to that is stack everything that you can financially and still protect yourself in case life happens and you got to pay for the brakes in your car, or the hot water heater goes out. But at the same time, think about the premiums when you're buying. Just don't wake up one day and say, I'm going to go drop $1,000 on silver, and not think about, well, maybe it'd be better to buy gold right now instead. It's it's just, as any wise investor does, pick the best option at the time, right? And those options change. It's gold or silver. The price of silver is not the price, but the premiums on silver are going to come down. And once they do, they'll become a better investment and something to really get into. I mean, there was times not 2-3 years ago, we were selling generic silver at spot just to get rid of it. So that is, those days will probably come back. And then once that happens, maybe not the spot, but we're selling generic at $1 over, $1.50 over. That's when maybe get more excited about stacking silver. Now, put that aside for a second. Here's the other side of it. How do you store it, right? So put the money side of it off to the side for just a second. Storage is utmost importance. So, and this is another question that we've been asked is, how should I store my stack, right? Well, a couple things. One is you need to have a secure place to store it. And it needs to be, if you're keeping it in your house, I truly recommend that you keep it in a safe that it has a TRTL rating of 15 or a TRTL rating of 30. So, I'll say that again, TRTL 15 or TRTL 30, which what that means is that TRTL 15 is torch/tool resistant for up to 15 minutes. So that means that someone who actually knows what they're doing to break into safes can actually hit your safe with a torch for 15 straight minutes and may or may not be able to get in at that time. Same thing with a TRTL 30. So that means at 30 minutes, they may or may not be able to get in. Now that's somebody that has experience cracking safes. And when you're breaking into a safe, committing a crime like that in someone's house, 15 minutes to 30 minutes is a lifetime. So that is, no one wants to hang around for that period of time. Now you go on, we're on YouTube right now, right? So go on YouTube when you're done watching this and type in how fast to crack into a gun safe. A crackhead with a pry bar can crack into a gun safe in 2 minutes. And that's not me making stuff up. You go on YouTube and you can search for that and you'll see these guys can flip a gun safe and pry the door open in 2 minutes with a flat bar. So even like a really big screwdriver they can do that with. So gun safes, if you're stacking in your house, the only thing a gun safe is good for is keeping honest people out and keeping small children away from your firearms. It's not a good thing to stack your precious metals in. So like I said, TRTL 15, TRTL 30, those are your best options. And those safes are usually heavy too. They're usually a couple thousand pounds. So it's not like somebody can just come in and physically pick it up and walk it out. I see a lot of people come in and they have their stack or their collection in these little strong boxes that literally weigh 30 pounds. I mean, anybody can just, not break into it in your home, but literally just pick it up out of your home underneath your bed or in your closet or whatever and take it to wherever they're going to go and then figure out how to get into it. So those safes, if you're a serious stacker or collector, I recommend getting those. The brand's not so important, but just those specifications. I'll say it again, TRTL 15 or TRTL 30. Now there's bigger and badder safes out there, which are basically impossible to crack into. Of course, you have vaults, but that's not, no one needs to really worry about that unless you're stacking millions of dollars worth of goods. So being able to store it is important. Now, what's silver, right? So silver is harder to store because it takes up more space per dollar. So $2,000 worth of, well, let's say a monster box of silver, 500 ounces right now is going to be somewhere around $15,000. So 500 ounces of silver weighs about 36 pounds. Whereas $15,000 worth of gold is, 7 ounces, 7.5 ounces. So it's much harder to store larger amounts of silver. So that may be something that you take into consideration as you're building your stack, and depending on what your security situation is, maybe it would be more advantageous for you to stack gold over silver if it is just, safer. You can always put it in safety deposit boxes too. Large amounts of silver is not going to work in a safety deposit box, but you can put large amounts of gold in there if you trust the bank and their situation. Not always the best place to do it, but it's definitely more secure than putting in a strong box underneath your bed or in your closet. Another thing that I want to talk about when it comes to storing your precious metals. Hold on a second. Don't tell anybody about them. I don't care whether it's jewelry, I don't care, it doesn't even have to be precious metals, your valuables. I don't care if it's jewelry, I don't care if it's vintage sports cards, your Rolex, gold eagles, silver eagles, whatever. If it's of value, don't tell anybody about it. That is one kind of the sad thing about having an expensive coin collection is you want to put it out, you want to display it, you want to enjoy the coins. But don't do that, because as people come into your house, they see things, eventually those things are going to disappear. We buy large amounts of secondhand goods from the general public, and unfortunately, every once in a while, we buy something that is stolen. And 9 times out of 10, the thief has stolen it, the victim knows the victim, right? It's not someone that sneaks in like a cat burglar in the middle of the night. No, it's the drugged out son or daughter or their friends. It's the house cleaner, or it's the repairman. 9 times out of 10. Most of the times it's the kids. And so nobody needs to know about your collection. No one needs to know about your stack. Just put it away. Your spouse is really the only person, maybe one other person that you truly trust with all your your wealth, and that's probably the person that you have on your trust or your will. That is really it. That's all it needs to know about. When you're having friends over, or you're having your kids' friends over, don't show them the stuff. It's not really their business. Unfortunately, it will disappear the more people know about it. The old saying, if more than one person knows a secret, it's no longer a secret. That's really the truth. We have guys that come in and will start telling me, oh yeah, I got this stored here, and I'm like, dude, shut up. It's I don't need to know where you have your stuff stored. The people that are in the showroom, they don't need to hear where you're stacking your silver and gold at. Just buy it. I recommend paying cash, and just go and put it to where you're going to put it, and that's it. Don't talk about it. Maybe just you and your wife, or you and your husband, and that's it. If you have a child in your family that is really straight-laced and is going to take care of all of your final requests and deal with your final paperwork, that person should know. And that's it. Nobody else. And whatever you don't show your kids' friends your stack, because even though your kids can be straight-laced and perfect and everything, they're going to have that one knucklehead friend that's not, and they're going to be like, oh, Tommy's dad's got all these silver coins that he shows us. I know how to get to them. Eventually that will happen, and then they'll be sold, and then that will be that. So that's like 3 questions I've been asked. The ratio stack, how to store it, and then what's issues of theft when it comes to stacks. I'll tell you the stupidest example. A 20-year-old kid stole a 14-karat gold little heart locket from his mom, and he came in here and sold it to us. It was like $70-some. And his mom was pissed, and she pressed charges against him, or her son. Kid was a drug addict, and that kid went to jail for 2 years for stealing a I think it was $4 locket. He just got out the other day. We just got the paperwork from him. That's why it's fresh in my mind. So, if the opportunity is there, people who have substance abuse issues specifically will seize that opportunity, even if it's your own child. So please, just keep your stack to yourself, put it away, and just don't broadcast it. So this is Brian with Vermillion Enterprises. If you have any questions or comments, just let us know. We're always answering questions. We're always happy to do so. We are trying to get our subscriber base up to 1,500. And once that happens, we're going to be giving away a free Libertad. And go to the video that's pinned at the top of our channel, and you'll be able to see that and get enrolled in the free drawing on that. And like always, guys, hit that like and subscribe button at the corner of your screen. And if you got any suggestions for us for future videos, let us know. We'll be happy to entertain those and do videos on them. All right, guys, I'm Brian with Vermillion Enterprises, and we are located at 5324 Spring Hill Drive in sunny Spring Hill, Florida. If there's anything we do for you, come on back. Thanks. Bye.